The Secret Show. Politico reports that we saw the unthinkable. Donald Trump was nearly assassinated. But was this an inside job? Was this coordination with a foreign government? Or was this a lone actor? Well, I can tell you one thing. The Secret Service is under scrutiny for allowing this to get that close. We're talking about millimeters, a split-second decision between Trump being alive and dead. Now Politico reports that a massive security breach. Secret Service is under scrutiny after a gunman got clear shot at Trump. How a gunman could scale a roof where Trump was speaking prompts calls for an investigation. Josh Gerstein and Kyle Cheney report. The attempted assassination of Donald Trump represents a glaring failure by the Secret Service, which left the former president exposed to gunfire and a breach of scrutiny that will likely haunt a long-idealized agency that has been repeatedly tarnished by scandals in recent years. Important questions about the shooting remain unresolved, but the fact that the 20-year-old gunman managed to scale a roof about 200 yards from where Trump was speaking has already prompted calls for a searching investigation of the Secret Service. Those responsible for the planning, approving, and executing of this clearly insufficient security plan need to testify before Congress and be held accountable, said Representative Ruben Gallego, a Democrat and former Marine running for Senate in Arizona. Now, the inevitable formal inquiries into the shooting, which left an attendee at the rally dead and wounded Trump, will raise fundamental questions about how the U.S. can protect dignitaries at a time of bitter polarization and widespread access to firearms. Immediate questions about the attack will land Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle under microscope of congressional investigators at the FBI investigations in the shooting. In the hours that followed Saturday's shooting, lawmakers from both parties and law enforcement experts have pointed to a series of glaring oversights or errors that appears to have contributed to the tragedy and to the possibility that the country came within millimeters of political catastrophe. The gunman identified by the FBI on Sunday as Thomas Matthew Crooks was shot dead by Secret Service sniper team after he opened fire from a building overlooking the rally. His ability to reach the rooftop where he had a direct shot at Trump is among the most immediate areas of review. There should never have been a clear line of sight on the former president. My Marine Corps training taught me that, Gallego, an Iraq veteran, said in a statement. Now, commentator Dan Bongino went on and talked about this directly with Fox News, explaining not only should this have never happened, but this might be one of the worst cases of judgment and security compromising that we've seen in recent history. Watch.
Me now. Is this gross incompetence, or is it something even more scary that we can't even think about?
No, it's gross incompetence. I mean, how do you think about it, right? The counter sniper team, they train out, the Secret Service counter sniper team, obviously they're to mitigate a sniper threat. They train out to 1,000 yards. So we're talking about, say it was 200 yards. It was actually less than that where this shooter was, right? You're talking about a fraction of what they're trained at. They're also trained to spot guys in ghillie suits, cracked open windows.
Right.
He's on a white roof in broad daylight.
He's on a white roof.
Now, again, it'd be easy for me to say, oh, well, let's not get into Monday morning quarterbacking. Bro, it's not a freaking football game. It's the president of the United States' life. The Secret Service has one job. Well, outside of counterfeiting and protection, it is one job. You keep the body alive no matter what. They came within a millimeter of this guy losing his life. I don't understand some of the commentary that's, they did a great job. Well, the body guys, that response was, brave. They ran up there. They didn't know there could have been 10 more shooters.
Right.
No doubt. Know those guys. Pretty heroic what happened there. But the security failure in the perimeter is a complete, total debacle. No one should defend this.
So when you have guys, we just played the sound, when you have fans saying, hey, there's a guy with a gun over there to multiple law enforcement guys, and they still are just looking around like this and no one. How does that happen?
Well, that's a good question. See, what the problem here is that there is no doubt that this was an attempted coup, right? This was not a Lone Ranger. The absolute discrepancies in the security perimeter. This is a guy on a white roof. And people are confused not only how this happened, but if this was a direct coordination either between a foreign government or between our own government, and this guy was trained maybe by the FBI. I'm not trying to speculate, but it's true. This guy definitely didn't act alone, and there was a delay in the response, several minutes in a breakdown that we saw today, and Dan Bongino wants to know the truth. Now, we have more of that interview, but I want to remind you that you have to take control not only of the country, but of your own life, where you have the power. And a lot of us are behind on our payments on credit cards because the cost of living has gone up. Maybe the income hasn't matched exactly how much things cost, and you find yourself drowning in debt. Car loans, interest rates are piling on. Well, I have good news for you. If you've had pesky debt and you've wanted to get rid of it, there is an opportunity for relief today at donewithdebt.com. DONEWITHDEBT.com. When you go there, click Vigilant News at checkout, and my friends have an important time-sensitive solution that doesn't require you to file for bankruptcy, and it does not require you to pull out a personal loan. If you've been ignoring your debt and it's been getting out of control, get rid of that debt today like American patriots have at donewithdebt.com. Click Vigilant News at checkout. That's all you have to do. Now, speaking of the matter, here's what he had to say to Jesse Waters as they completed their conversation on what the hell happened. I'd like to know too.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm getting from a number of sources that people are feeding to me their information, obviously, because they want to fix it. They're concerned, and I think you're going to see a lot of whistleblowers. I'm hearing there were very, very few. I don't want to give an exact number, but very few actual, I don't think anyone else has reported this, actual Secret Service poststanders at that site, that they were temp HSI,
Right.
Homeland Security folks, which they're great folks. I'm not knocking them, but that's not what they do specifically. We do protection and we're trained for that. So I'm hearing that. I'm also hearing that the counter sniper team, that they had a problem seeing over the elevation. That's why I didn't engage right away.
Oh, come on.
But that's not the problem. The problem, well, it's the problem, but that's not the problem is, where the hell was the aerial visual support? Why was there no helicopter? Why was there no drone? Why was there no FLIR? Why was there no thermal, forward-looking infrared? How the hell is the crowd acting as the freaking counter surveillance operation?
I know, if that's the best asset you have is random Trump supporters telling police that there's a guy with a gun, what technology are they deploying? They're bragging about they have all this new technology. I didn't see it. Tell me about when they rush him over to the van, I guess, the vehicle. It seemed like some of the Secret Service agents, I just don't know if they had the stature that I would expect to see and the gravitas that I would expect to see protecting the former president.
Well, the rule is maximum to the protectee, minimum to the problem, right? Because you don't know how many problems there are. So if you try to rush to one problem, like the Malcolm X shooting, and there's another problem over there, you're going to wind up getting dead quick. So they did the right thing by rushing to the protectee. On the evac out, yeah, you do see a couple of agents who one couldn't reholster the weapon and things like this. So, yeah, there were some definite.
And the other one was like 5'4".
Yeah, I mean, you're going to find out in the coming weeks that the physical fitness standards for men and women are different.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, if you saw the embarrassment of the Secret Service response, you had the women hiding behind the president. Where do we go? What do we do? Look, I'm not against women being involved in our country, but I don't think we should be putting women on the front lines, especially just on simple biological differences. That might be unpopular with people, but realistically speaking, if you're 5'4" and you're defending a 6'5" president, well, perhaps that just shows a discrepancy that should be taken into account. I'd love to know your thoughts below on what you think happened in this matter. Drop a comment in the description here. I'd love to hear your feedback on if you think it was an inside job. If you like these reports and you want to receive more of them, make sure that you subscribe to our channels on rumble.com and on X. We are at Vigilant News. But if you like these videos direct to your inbox, grab our newsletter at vigilantnews.com. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.